So, we have a public hearing, Katie Hauser, 260 Amity Road. Application per section 4.7.18 of the zoning regulations for a freestanding sign at 260 Amity Road, advertising Thrive Chiropractic and Wellness.
Correct.
You have the floor. You need to move to the soft seat.
Oh.
And you
Okay.
need to sign in, I'm sorry.
Okay,
Which is 260 Amity Road.
I can do that.
70's worth.
Where's 260?
It's right at Wells Fargo Bank.
That's far.
It is?
So I'm right above Wells Fargo. There's,
There's a couple other places. In there.
right,
You
so
guys all
there's.
work together or work against each other? Whoops, that answers
No,
that question.
no. No, it's just kind of interesting. No, Co-Francesco.
Is that the only office space in town?
No, but it was a good office space. And so Lou Cofrancesco, who's also up there, is my ex-husband. And we were practicing together, and I moved out, and I moved across the hall. So now I have my own space in the suite, and then there's another company, which, not that I want to blow the whistle on anybody, but there is a sign on the road there
Yes.
for this other company that is in the middle. It's a marketing company.
Does the zoning enforcement officer not know about that sign?
I have no
We are
idea.
aware of that sign. It's taking control of the
There you go.
So that's where I am. And I have no sign at this point.
So, well, you need a sign. Again, I go back to being curious about why that sign got to be so close to the road.
That's where you originally want it to be.
It like hangs in the road,
Which sign?
those signs that are out there now.
Not really. I mean, they're kind of on the corner there, but
He wasn't here.
That's where it was shown to be on the application.
I was hoping it was going to get knocked down last winter, actually. It's right where the snow, there's no other sign on that street that's that close.
well, there's not a lot of room there even for a sign because of the planting and stuff. So I think they're pushed back up against the plants as much as they can be.
Well, I would say, as a person on the zoning commission, that they would have to put their sign in the plantings.
Okay.
That's what I
Some
would
have
say.
done, just
That-
take out the plant.
That's, or something, but I don't, I thought there was a certain distance from the road. All right, well, welcome, and.
Thank you.
I feel like we already know too much.
No, you don't. It's all good. It's fine. So yeah, I've been in there for a little over a year, and just never got my act together to get a sign going. And then I've missed the last two meetings because I did. So I'm here now. So, and I don't know if you have the picture of the sign, but I was trying to keep it similar to what's there, so it looks uniform.
Have their thing?
No.
Well, these were sent out several months ago, so these are extra copies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So you can
So it's
share.
not going to be some crazy sign. It'll look very similar to the one that's hanging.
Which is a nice sign.
Yeah, it is a nice
I
sign.
just think it's a weird spot.
Well, you can,
Yeah.
Tell me where else to
I'm leaving it
put
to the
it then.
zoning enforcement officers.
okay.
Size on this.
20 square feet.
It's 4.5.
Does this file only have this particular sign, not
Yeah.
the other sign?
Not the other side.
So it's 4 feet by 5 feet?
It's whatever no, that's, is it 4
as it
feet
does
by
not
5
exceed
feet? That
10
seems
feet.
big. It's the same size as what's there.
I know, but it says here 20 square feet. Maybe it's 20 square feet on both sides?
Maybe.
No, it says 20 square feet in total area per side.
Oh, so
That's,
that's,
I mean, it's not, I mean,
well, that would be
that's
4 foot by 5 foot.
big.
Yeah.
It's not that big. I mean, it's not made yet, but it was just gonna use the same template that Lou's sign is. So it would roughly be the same size and look similar.
Would they be located like right one in front of the other, or?
It's one sign.
However,
How many signs are
wherever
there?
you guys tell me we can put it, then that's
Oh.
where I'll put
Oh,
it.
the site plan is always helpful to see.
There
was
should be
one.
one on there.
There's an extra.
I mean, the way it is now, their sign is kind of on the corner, and then the other, I forget, I can't even remember
Nash.
what the name of that company.
Nash.
Nash is hanging below his, so his sign is his, and then hers hangs below.
Right.
And then there's the other people who have just stuck it into the ground next to his. So as you come in the bank entrance, his sign is here and the other people are right there. So I don't know where you want me to put it. I'll put it wherever you want me to put it.
Well, we have set distances off the road, correct?
No.
No, it just says in proportion to the size of the sign.
How can we not have set ones?
The people who created the regulations didn't think of it. There you go. First.
Now, are you gonna try to put your sign up so it blocks your ex-husband's sign?
No, I'm
We
not.
don't wanna be a party to that.
I'm not gonna do that.
So I'm kind of curious about why we can put, why we're allowed to put signs in the in front of the highway line. I mean, wouldn't this,
That sign that you're talking about was approved by this commission in that spot.
I believe you. I still don't understand it, because it's like pretty much on the road. And so we pretty much approved it to be put on a state highway property. Which I didn't know we could do things like that. I don't really remember I don't really remember that sign coming before us, but I believe you.
I mean, the only difference between that and these sandwich signs that we permit in the regs that also go right on the edge of the road, which is technically highway, is that the sandwich signs are not permanent, but there's still a sign that could be blocking.
Actually, I'll bet you all the sandwich signs are farther off the road than that sign.
Down in the corner of Lucy, you really think so?
Okay, those are pretty close.
Yeah, but
Those are pretty close. Okay, so what should we do? Because right now it's showing us a sign that isn't the right size.
Usually it shows posts on it too, so we know the height.
Well, we actually,
And the height
that's
of the
something that
sign.
we do actually include a maximum height. So that's something the zoning enforcement officer would be able to deal with. He actually will even be able to deal with the size of the sign. So, I mean, so we get to say where we want it. I vote it goes up into the plantings,
Up into the plantings.
behind the sign that's there. The other thing is, even when you drive out of there, you can't even see out of there when you look to the right, because that sign is there. I just can't
Well,
believe.
you don't drive out from that.
Don't be
I
driving out
watch
that
those
driveway.
people all
What's
the
that?
time. That's the inn.
Don't drive out that way?
Right, that is the wrong way to go. And people do it all the time, even though they keep putting signs up there that say in, this is out, it's unbelievable. Because my window is right above that, and I just see the chaos that happens in that parking lot, and
So
it's,
it sounds like that's how you guys get business.
no. So the only challenge about putting it in the plantings is then I have to go to the landlord and say, okay, you need to rip up plantings so I can put
I
my
guess my
sign.
point is, I think the sign that's down there is actually too close to the road. I think you'd be better off with a sign setback away from this sign. Your sign will stand out better.
I thought
So,
she said she was gonna put hers in a different location.
Well, she
altogether.
There was an alternate location.
She gives two different locations, and I was suggesting that I go back further from the road. Well, actually, the first choice is,
I have to look at the thing. I can't even remember. It was so long ago that I filled that out.
I think
is
what's
there a
unfortunate,
sign on
Ann,
here? Yeah, I know.
I can't picture this. And so it's just, I mean, I remember when we were looking at the sign on the other side that went with 1 Bradley Road, and then the signs that go with Solo and that. We were actually looking at photographs and trying to figure out how they fit, how far back they were. I just feel like I drive past there all the time, but I can't picture it in the mind's eye where we're talking about putting it as compared to the other signs and what that means in terms of setback, what that means in terms of visibility as people are pulling in or out. I just don't know.
Right. I don't think it's so much of an issue with the pulling in and out just because of where it is. If it was on the other side where people pull out, I would agree that it's going to be in the way.
Okay, can you see this from that far away?
No, but I could walk up there.
I couldn't see it either, but, okay, so this is the in and this is the out.
Can I come up here? May I approach
No,
them?
that's only in.
Huh?
That's only in.
No, well, it's got arrows showing two different directions, so, just saying. Two different directions. Now, isn't his sign here, like right there?
Wow, that is a weird. Okay, wait. So this is the in. Here's the bank. This is the out. Yeah, that you're right. They do show. That's
In and
not-
out.
Yeah. So yeah, his sign is like right here
Okay.
on the corner.
And where are the plantings in that? Is it that
It's-
uneven line
Yeah,
that
it's
goes
all
all the way
of,
across?
it's like this. You know, the
But,
plan.
but her first choice is over here.
Because there
which
was
is
a
behind the highway.
there was a sign there, like the for rent sign. That was the, you know, when they had space available. There was a sign there for quite some time that didn't block. It didn't really block anything. And there's more. You can set it back farther here, I think, than you can here.
I think
Without
you'd be better
getting-
off doing that. I think you should stay away from that sign.
Okay.
Yeah, because there you're not going back into plantings, right?
Right.
Right, I don't
Back it
think
up.
so.
I think
Right.
this is a little whatever. And isn't his sign like right there? Don't you think?
It's close, yeah. I mean, that would be close. That's why it was the second choice.
Yeah. You'll have more business if you put the sign over here.
Okay.
Yeah, but back compared to where the first choice.
Right, so set it back as far as I can.
Yeah, I would set it back here. Because everyone can see that up and down the
Yeah.
street pretty easily. So whether your sign is,
Right, okay.
Well, there's a hill there though. That's where you start going uphill, correct?
Yes,
still could-
right,
still could be a
yeah,
sign. It
yeah.
can't be that much of a hill.
Yeah, people aren't going to be looking, even Bradley comes in here, it's mostly the people coming down that are going to be seeing the sign. People going up,
Yeah.
only when it's really quiet are they going to be looking
Right,
at the sign because too much traffic.
right.
All right. I still don't remember the other sign meeting. Do you remember the other sign? Do you remember the other sign meeting? Okay. So, are there any more questions?
So did you say that a sign was not the right sign? is what
Right,
you
so
said?
what are the dimensions that I need the sign to be?
But it says 24 square feet.
No, it says on here 20.
No, but in the regs.
No, it says on there it says 20, but in the regs it says
24.
more.
24, that's the max, I guess. Is that correct, Terry?
Correct.
So 20, I
You can
missed,
be bigger, is what it boiled down to. Jeff thought you had to be smaller, but you
I'm
can.
kind of curious about what the other sign is. Doesn't matter.
Can't be more than 4 by 6, Kate.
okay. Got it.
And it can't be taller than 10 feet.
It's the
No taller than 10.
Didn't we draft those?
well,
Okay.
So you'll have some legs,
Mhm.
obviously, that it's gonna be
Right,
lifted on.
right. Okay,
You don't want it to be too low either, because of snow.
right.
Covers it, covers the bottom.
All right. I think we're good.
Perfect.
I'm going to assume there's no one here to speak in favor or opposed to your sign, since you're the only one here and 4 camera people.
Oh, we all came out for your sign.
Oh, well, I
Our selectmen.
appreciate that. I really do appreciate that.
And Beth Heller from the Board of Selectmen.
Okay, good, excellent, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, have
Good
a
luck.
good evening. Good luck.
Good luck.
Glad I finally made it this time.
Okay.
We are too.
Because you would have had nothing to do.
Wait, don't laugh.
Have a nice night.
Thank you, you too.
Okay, good night.
Okay, so we're gonna go in our work session. Discussion, motion?
We need it.
Huh?
A motion on what we just heard.
Just so you know, Peggy and Gary are up to vote, since you have 2 full members who are out.
Peggy was actually at the last meeting, and what about Stephen?
We keep,
I was
we
not.
keep track of rotation, just so you know, I've gone back for like 10 more years. And even if they're not here, they still get, that was their turn to rotate, because otherwise, there's no way for me to know. Does that make sense? So
Well-
next time, this time is Peggy's turn up first.
So who,
Next
so it wasn't her
meeting
turn last
is
time? It
Gary.
wasn't her turn last time?
Stephen
someone
was, for
wasn't
me,
here.
at the special meeting in.
I only know because I saw it in the minutes that Peggy was sitting,
Peggy voted, but both
she was sitting for someone.
Stephen and Gary were not here, so Peggy was the only one who was here, so she was the only one capable of voting.
Okay, so it wasn't her turn technically.
It wasn't her turn technically,
Got it.
but because she was here, she got to vote.
Got it, okay, that was.
Now it's officially her turn, and
Was
she
she
gets to
seated for
vote
me
again.
last time? I was not here November 3rd.
Yes.
Correct.
That's right.
Well, no, actually, it was November 17th.
I wasn't here.
Yeah, it was November 17th, but at the 3rd, Stephen was seated for me, because I wasn't
Right.
voting.
Musical chairs are the best.
I just read it in the minutes.
Okay.
Want a motion to approve? Or do you want a motion?
I think so.
I'll make a motion to approve the application of Katie Hauser, 260 Amity Road.
So the only thing that's a little precarious is that we don't have a map here and doesn't, how do we put on here, mark on here where we want this thing?
Maybe you can use the
think we have
general
Jerry
zoning
scope it out.
regulations.
No, the general zoning regulations doesn't show setbacks off the road.
No, but it
that
talks
map
about
that you-
proportion to the setback of the sign from the property
And-
line.
Yes.
That may be general enough.
right.
It's not, it's actually a little too general. I think that's why the other one sits on the road.
So you're showing the first choice location
Yeah, here.
about,
We're
As-
gonna, we put a big circle here. How's that?
Right, and that would be a part of the, that's a part of the
10 feet.
Can I see that so we can,
black,
Back.
Well, that's where we just discussed it with her.
right?
so it's per
This
the,
is,
how
proceed
far back from the
application.
radius of the curve do you want it?
I don't know, we put an X. Means number of feet?
We have a 20-foot radius. A careful examination of the site plan shows to the parking spot, which is probably something to measure from. Less so the radius and more so that corner parking spot. This indicates that there's a 20-foot radius. Do you anticipate the sign being 10 feet from that corner parking spot?
We have it like right
Radius?
about in the middle.
I think
We-
10,
Well, the
10 feet
X
sounds
is
good if
the-
the sign's
we
gonna be
have it
10
at the 10
feet tall.
feet.
the X that you
Right?
show is like 18 feet, 17 feet.
But it's the
Yeah.
circle.
Oh, the big circle. Yeah, it's close to the 10.
Well, I didn't say the 10 until after he said what he said. I didn't. But
So
okay.
10
So we marked it on
sounds-
there, that's where we said. So maybe you could pass that on.
I may be able to.
Thank you.
So you don't want it in the radius at all, in a sense that the radius is taken from where the edge of the parking is. You want it behind that parking lot.
Jeff's in
The
fine
radius
form
would
tonight.
be from
Right?
this point in a curve here,
Yeah.
and you want it behind, you want it back
Usually
here.
get a
Right.
lot more information
Okay.
on signage.
Right, but because it was, it was
Wherever you guys want it.
whatever it is, held over from the
I
last
think
meeting
it's
where
gonna
she
be
wasn't
difficult
here.
to
I
see
think
it there,
that we didn't have
frankly, but
time to say
I
to
would
her,
put
we
it
need more,
more in
to
this
get to the end of the open period, right?
aspect.
Well, the problem with this site plan is I can't really tell where the other one is, which I find in a really bad spot. And so, as long as it's back behind that, then that would
Okay.
be pretty good. I think you can see it. Remember, you can see down this road.
Mm-hmm.
And that's actually one of the good things about this piece of property.
Mm-hmm.
So since I'm making the motion, Jeff,
Yeah.
you're designing the,
I'm not designing anything,
okay.
actually.
Well, I guess, if it's the will of the commission that the freestanding sign in accordance with this 4.71, Section 8, is behind, and you're talking about geographically further from the road toward the property.
Well,
Then
we
the
have it-
existing sign is, as demonstrated on the August 14th, 2014 map that has been submitted with the application, which has an X on it.
But that's
To
not
give
the
the
spot we
approximate-
picked.
Pardon me?
It's not the spot we picked. We
I
put-
thought there was
no.
just an X that was,
No, we put the X on there. We had a discussion
She put a
with her.
first choice and a second
This is where
choice,
she
and we
said-
changed it to the
Right.
board's choice.
In front of her, we changed it.
She agreed.
I understand that. So what is it marked?
An X and a
That's
circle.
what I just said.
Well, there's three
Three
X's on the
X's is the
drawing.
point.
Okay, so why don't we make it something different than an X?
Not the black X.
Exactly. That sounds good.
So that I've got this, Jeff. You've got 1, 2, those are hers.
Look at the X with
And
the
you
circle.
have a black X, which is a large X
With a circle.
inside, with a circle around it. Okay? And so that would be, do we know where the north is?
Okay, so let's get a
This
second.
way, according to that.
Is that way?
I'm not seated.
Oh.
It's a-
You're seated.
I am seated for
You're a
this?
full member.
Oh, I thought, because I wasn't here
You
last time.
never
I'll
lose
second
your
that.
spot.
I'll second it.
This is the first time the hearing's actually
Uh-huh.
been conducted.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. That was tough. Okay, we have a meeting schedule that I think we have to approve this, correct?
Correct.
It was a mistake.
That's why we're here.
Yeah, bring this.
Maybe not.
Oh, it shouldn't say Monday, May 5th, it should say Tuesday, May 5th.
That's what it was. It says that the town hall is closed on Monday, September 1st. I guess that's Monday, September 6th.
Probably.
Yeah. July 6th isn't part of the holiday weekend. It's
Monday.
Friday that becomes a part of the holiday weekend.
September, Labor Day is on the 6th.
No, I'm talking about in July.
July,
I raised
July.
another one. It says we have a meeting Monday, July 6th. I'm just making sure that it's not, that it's the 3rd that's the holiday and not the 6th.
This was last year.
50.
7th. September 7th.
Too many calendars.
Too many calendars.
By checking their phones.
Okay.
September.
September
8th.
7th is a
September
Monday.
8th.
Right.
It should be Tuesday, September 8th. Because September 7th is the Monday. I don't know where I was when I did this.
Kathleen brings up a good point though, because the 4th, that means the 4th is on a Saturday, so you think
Yeah.
Friday's one?
The town hall
Usually.
would be open on Monday. But it's your choice when you want to have a meeting. The town hall would only be closed if the 4th was on Sunday. On the Monday.
When do you think banks are gonna close?
Hmm?
When do you think banks are gonna close? 4th is a Saturday.
They don't do anything with that. But it's your meeting schedule, so you do what you would like to do.
Well, we can, let's find out, we can just leave it the way it is and change it. Or we're
You
not
can't
going to
change it, you would have to adjourn a meeting to another date. And the zoning board of appeals typically meets the following Monday.
Okay, so then let's do
Tuesday,
it,
you said.
let's do it on the 7th.
Which is Tuesday, right?
Yeah. Okay. So September is gonna be on the 8th?
Is that gonna be
So
in the
July,
commission?
you're gonna be on a Tuesday?
Well, I don't understand, the 7th is
Right.
Labor Day.
Because there's
September
an
7th.
election
Are we
in
talking
May.
about July? Or
No,
are we talking
I've
about
already moved on to September.
Okay,
He did.
what are you doing with July?
Going to the 7th.
Tuesday.
Tuesday the 7th.
Okay. And then in September, Tuesday is the 8th.
Right. Okay. October 5th, November 2nd, December 7th. All right. Okay, so is there a motion to approve the calendar with the schedule, changes?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Update of town planning conservation, PLCD. Two things, one is we have to change our public hearing, dates in January. Because Tuesdays and Thursdays in, January are budget hearing days. So, we were gonna look at the 26th and the 28th, Monday and Wednesday.
I won't be here the 20th.
We may not either. There you go. You want us to already say you're not gonna be here?
I am away the 28th and 31st.
Okay. And the other thing is, this is up on the website. Where do people send their comments? Do they send them to you? Or do we know?
There is well,
Is that
as
link?
part of a public hearing, they need to get either mailed to us or whatever. We do have that email address that I monitor, so they can send it via that email address too. They can send them in writing. They can send them directly to my email, whatever they, you know.
Okay, so I don't have a problem with that, but but when we get them, let's send them to the commission as opposed to, I don't want to wait till the meetings to get the comments if we get comments.
Okay.
Is that okay?
I haven't seen anything yet.
No, I know.
Council of Governments, at least Scrog, isn't going to look at it till this month. I haven't heard from Valley Council when they're reviewing it.
All right. All right. Is there a report from Scrog?
No, we had our meeting next week. Nothing.
Good commission. Did anybody read the marijuana dispensary and production zoning regulations?
Partway. $25,000 application fee is pretty impressive.
I didn't.
For the dispensary,
Yeah.
75 for the production.
Unbelievable. This is the Southington one. Pretty long.
I have a different one.
And the proposal is to have both dispensaries and production facilities located in industrial zones.
That can't be Southington.
Not. What'd you say?
And the thinking is to have both production facilities and dispensaries located in industrial zones.
I think that the dispensary can be in a zone like, no different than like a gun shop or a liquor store.
Or farms.
Or a pharmacy.
I thought the regulations were written so that both were to be located in an industrial zone.
But we can do whatever we want. I did see that too. But I don't,
I think it should be similar to a pharmacy or a liquor store.
right,
I think comparable.
I agree.
And going around to the other, we met with First Selectmen and Economic Development people in 8 or 10 cities in the state. Almost all of them consider the production facilities manufacturing in their zoning. So they would typically include it either in industrial or light industrial. So that's consistent with
I agree.
pretty much everybody else's thing.
Do our regs limit location of a liquor store in terms of distance from a school, a church, anything like that?
I believe it, they do.
Certain types of them, yes, not all,
I know restaurants, that's
because you lifted it from restaurants. Section 312.
Yeah.
So you do have distance requirements for certain types of things from public or private schools or other educational facilities.
Also from residential zones.
I haven't finished it. Yep, single-family or multifamily residential use. School programs, preschool and daycare facilities, children's museums, camps and athletic leagues, churches or other religious facilities or institutions, public parks or libraries, community center or teen center. And it's a distance of 500 feet measured by taking the nearest straight line between the lot properties boundaries.
I think the state's 1,000.
I know 1,000 almost puts you in Bethany. I don't like, but you know what I'm saying. Well, what we have in the gun shop, I think the same 500, no, 500, yeah. But are you talking about for the dispensary, or are you talking about for the production?
Production facility. So you might allow it within 500 feet, but I don't think the state would.
Oh, so it's a state reg 1,000 feet.
State reg's 1,000 feet
Oh.
from all of those, including federal, any
So
federal.
it's a state thing, it wasn't that town thing.
State trumps?
And the state measures it from the nearest property boundary line.
Right. Are you looking at this reg from the?
Yeah, it's 1,000 feet. Well,
I didn't bring it with me, I read it.
It's 32 pages. That's necessary.
the whole thing is at 32 pages. It starts at like page 26.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's 4 pages.
But this is, this is Southington, and
So
they
then maybe
quote,
this isn't
The one that I gave to you was from Newington,
this one.
yes.
Just continue.
oh, you sent another link that is Southington.
Yeah, and the one I passed out was Newington.
So I don't know if this quotes state, but this says 1,000 feet from any other site containing a producer, 750 feet from a site containing a church, school, public building, public park. So is that, you think this
State.
reflects state? Okay, so
Well,
it's
this
only
one-
1,000
this-
feet.
But this one, yeah.
I was just saying, it's only 1,000 feet from any other site containing a medical marijuana producer. The rest are 750, which,
That's not what this one said.
Well, Newington says 1,000 feet from a church, temple,
Or other place used
public
primarily
building,
for
school,
religion, right.
recreation.
yeah, this says 750.
I can tell you from having gone through some production facilities in Colorado and California, you can tell when you're within 500 feet of a production facility, no matter how good the air handling equipment is. So I wouldn't recommend 500 if we were thinking.
hadn't thought of
If we set
Why, are they
distances,
sampling it?
No, you
that.
can
Just
just,
odor in the air.
the odor from the plants.
I think we'd have to look at a map to see where there would actually end up being a spot, if we have to be 1,000 feet. We want to be 1,000 feet.
You may not have any space in
We may
town.
not.
Village district.
Well, we can't change
There.
that.
Open land.
That's right. But it would be useful to know, I think. That's a correct statement.
So which one are we, so one of the things we talked about was sending one of these for the town attorney to look at.
Well, I think you want to look at the state regs too, as Gary said, because that's going to be the trump card. And then you want to see if you can modify anything below that.
Well, that's what the town attorney can do. And he can look at the state.
Correct. But I'm saying that, I mean, this is, as long as he says this is what you can do despite the state. I mean, if the state trumps on everything, there may be very little you can do. So,
This one also talks about signage, which could conflict with our signage regulations.
But I think that is for that town as opposed to,
Yeah, it is for their town.
yeah.
But it says you can have a sign that's only 16 by 18 inches. So that's not the same as ours. If we go with Newington.
Well, it has to be adjusted to, obviously, to fit Woodbridge, other than the state, that the state requires.
They even limit the hours of operation.
Yeah, I know, which I was opposed to. We don't limit it. Do we limit any other operation?
And conditions. Dancing.
No loud music.
The outdoor
But we don't tell them what time,
Outdoor eating.
well, we don't tell them what time they have to close down.
places that have served alcohol, we do down in the flats, right?
11 o'clock.
Still limiting it, right? I mean, it's reasonable.
Well, 11 o'clock is when the noise kicks in.
Well, these dispensaries would be more like a pharmacy or a liquor store than a restaurant, bar.
Yeah, but the one I'm reading here in Newington tells them to shut down at 5.
I have that one on.
Oh, yeah, 7 to 5.
Which isn't really practical. I mean,
We pick 5.
if you don't want anybody opening, then
Right, that's what you do. Okay, so. So I only have the Newington one in front of me, so in the Newington one, one of the things it talks about says that dispensary and production is in the same place, and we're saying that dispensary can be separate from production. And production will be in an industrial zone, and dispensary can be in any place that a pharmacy is allowed, obviously within the restrictions from the state. And we have to confirm that the 1,000 feet is a state thing as opposed to the 750 thing.
Is it the Department of Consumer?
Consumer protection.
The signage has to be changed to Woodbridge's. I mean, this just has to be, I mean, section 6.1 for parking, I mean, we had our own issues with that, our own rules for that. So,
And if you're gonna use this, I would assume you would be changing that the production facility couldn't be less than 1,000 feet from a property that is zoned for any residential, because they only say single residential, and down there you have two-family and single-family.
Residential's residential, yeah.
Well, and here it says
I
single-family
understand.
residential use, so we would just want to say residential use.
And hours 7 to 10.
This is what the dispensary?
Do we have to say the
Well,
hours?
actually,
or
no, it says
Can, when they come.
hours
before us?
operation for a medical dispensary or production. And
And,
I
Well,
don't
liquor store
think
and
you
pharmacy
care
or.
about the production facility.
I don't think so.
There's no noise, there's nothing. There's no reason
24
not to have it running
24/7.
24/7.
You don't think the plant stopped growing at 10?
No.
So the state regs say that to apply for a producer license, a map has to be provided that identifies all places used primarily for religious worship, public or private school, convent, charitable institution, hospital or veterans home, or any camp or military establishment within 1,000 feet of the production facility.
This one doesn't have the permit costs on here.
1,000 feet of a production facility, but not 1,000 feet.
I haven't gone to the other one yet. I just started at the production facility. It's listed on the website, 75,000.
That's the application fee.
Yeah, that's the application fee.
I like that. Pay the commission. How come you can have different amounts of money for your application fee depending on what it is? I mean, would that be a little discriminatory? What happens if somebody wants to open up some other kind of production?
Okay, so that's,
Only gonna charge you $50.
Yeah, they
that's
can do it.
producer,
Yeah, they do.
They
The
do.
other one's
That's how it
dispensary.
works.
applicant medical marijuana,
You wanna move
producer
your facility, it's
dispensary.
also $75 application.
I get it.
Dispensary facility.
All right, well, the only one I have to mark up is this one. Has everyone looked at this? The one from North?
Yeah, we've reviewed it. What are you looking to do tonight?
Pardon?
What are you looking to do tonight?
Well, I want to make sure everyone's seen it so that we can ship it off to the town attorney to take a look at.
Well,
If everybody hasn't read it or wants to read it, then
I think you can send it over to him, because I think specific questions that you raised are going to be this meeting, next meeting, or the following meeting, so
right.
we should get feedback.
Okay, cool.
But we'd like him to do a little bit of research as well, not just review this, correct?
Right.
I mean, he may, or she may be familiar with other regulations, or sections that should be added or removed.
You certainly should review it in context of the state regulations.
Really. It's not his job actually to go find it. If you want to put other things in there, then that's us or staff.
Okay.
But that's not the town attorney's not going to do that.
You should just tell us what the minimums are that we can deal with, that's all, or the maximums. I'm sure there's some limited jurisdiction we have for changing things.
Can probably consult with you. That's why we waited to do this.
I'm
Your
glad,
timing wasn't helpful.
Dispensary facility.
All right, so we can send this to, no one has a problem with that?
This, so dispensary facility says the same thing.
1,000 feet?
1,000 feet for places used primarily for religious worship, public or private school, convent, charitable institution, hospital or veterans home, any camp or military establishment.
Why?
You're gonna ask the government why?
You think that's,
Actually,
you think
this
that's what
one
the state's
doesn't-
saying?
This is the state.
This one
Oh, okay,
doesn't-
This is
I
the
thought it was-
state.
I thought it was Newington or something.
No, this is the Connecticut government, so they say $1,000, sorry, 1,000,
So we may not get anything in town.
That's what I said.
it's very tough in Woodbridge. I don't think anyone will try to locate a production
Right.
facility, but it's been,
Liquor with 500 feet is very difficult in Woodbridge
Yeah.
from our
We have nice
various
farmland.
churches.
Yeah, we had to
It's not land,
grant
it's the
exceptions or
distribution
whatever it
road.
is
You can't get to
for
91.
restaurants, solo,
Oh,
right
that's
at the
true.
corner
the
of
trucking,
Bradley and
a lot of
Eddy.
trucking in and out. So
Yeah.
that's the issue, and security.
This one doesn't mention camp. You said camp.
Military.
Oh, military camp or just camp?
I'm gonna
Because
quiz
we
you
do
later.
have camps. Well, I would want to add it on here. Camp.
It says, or any camp or military establishment. Actually, so it could be any camp, right?
Yeah.
Right,
Any camp.
which is any camp, right? Doesn't have to be a
Boy
military
Scout, Girl
camp.
Scout, all those.
So I would want to add that on to this.
Yeah, it covers a lot of places.
Yeah, charitable organization's usually the one that, because there's so many of them.
Yeah, like the Amity Teen Center is a charity
Teen
organization,
Center,
right?
there you go, there's 1,000 feet.
But one of their tenants is a church.
There's a church too, right?
Yeah, that's also
Double
1,000
whammy.
feet. School,
Yeah, the church on Litchfield Turnpike,
course,
you
next
have
door is the
another
bar.
church
Basically,
in
you can't do it.
260 Amity Road.
I think there's a spot
Where?
where you could do it in Woodbridge. There's land on the other side of the Merritt Parkway in Woodbridge.
But I think there's churches within 1,000 feet.
What's on it? What's on it now?
You mean up where the Department of
A
Transportation garage is?
half a swimming pool of a hotel and some DOT facilities.
Oh.
Private property there.
The DOT property's private?
No.
Where that,
There
where
is
that-
private property and DOT,
Oh,
but on this side of the,
yeah, right.
But when you discussed establishing the distances for the liquor regulations, which I think was also for the adult establishments too, the discussion at that point was is that while you may have current uses that are there, those uses may change. And so it's not cast in stone that those uses are going to be there in perpetuity. So as long as you have a provision for where it can occur, should those circumstances change,
Right.
you have a regulation that people can work with.
and do we really care if the dispensary is located on the other side of the Merritt Parkway from us?
But that's
You may
too
have
close to
issues-
residential,
You may have
right?
issues with New Haven.
And also too close to New Haven.
Most
Yeah, I don't see
most
where you're
likely.
gonna fit this anyplace in Woodbridge based on 1,000.
yeah, somebody wouldn't want to locate there. If they were thinking New Haven, they want to be on the bus line
I think in the middle of it would be.
During the discussion
Well,
of
actually, the
adult,
bus line goes right through there.
through that site.
It goes
goes up
right
the-
across the upper, I don't know what road that is.
Valley.
You go up the hill, take a right.
It actually doesn't go that far down. It comes down
Ramsdale.
Ramsdale
Yeah.
and comes over to
Which is where Tommy
Whaley
Goes.
Avenue there.
during the discussion of
7-Eleven.
adult uses some years ago, we found that we could regulate it, but we couldn't prohibit it. And so actually having a regulation that doesn't prohibit it by not having any spot is a more effective defense.
Is. Yeah, I agree.
So there should be a spot for it. You know, unless you intend to, effectively ban it, and that's the kind of regulations that don't stand a legal challenge.
Yeah, right.
Except we want to follow the state regulation.
Really,
Still can't
but
do it.
really what's gonna prevent this is the state, it's not the law.
So
Unless you
let's
want to be
say-
more restrictive.
Let's say a spot
There you
were found, right? And so, the dispensary or the producer, whatever production facility was established there. But then a use within 1,000 feet of that changed. Would the facility being there prohibit another, like a church or a daycare center or whatever being established within 1,000 feet because it was there first?
No.
So once something were established within 1,000 feet, it would necessarily put an end to,
No.
No, you can't stop a church.
No,
We don't
it's
regulate
not the
churches'
reverse.
distances from dispensaries. We regulate, the
But if the
distance from.
facility is there first, you can't take them out because something moves in.
No,
Correct.
only at the time of that.
Nor can you,
At the time of application.
nor can you prohibit a lawful use,
Right.
moving in closer. But in a longer perspective of things, zoning is a dynamic thing. uses change, we have an ebb and flow. We have many more churches than we used to.
We sure do.
And many more nonprofits, as Gary was.
Okay, well, that's the purpose, I mean, that's the reason to actually have the town attorney look at this and compare it to the state, so we have it in our regs, so we've like at least addressed the issue. All right, cool.
Somebody should get out their little radius gauge.
Being all the other towns.
So,
All right. I don't think we have any regulations, revisions we're discussing, correspondence received. We have approval of minutes.
So we didn't land the meeting in January, the public hearing? You said the 26th or the 28th? So the
Yes.
21st, the Wednesday, which is the day before when we had wanted to land it, is not possible?
Right.
There's
So we can do the 26th and the
the
28th.
same 26th and the 20th.
Do they need to take any action on that?
You want to take a formal vote on changing the hearing date?
Why do we need a formal vote? Do we need a formal vote?
You didn't have one when you established it,
I know
I
it.
believe.
But then you established it.
But it hasn't been posted.
Yeah, we did. We said
Well,
that
it's-
it was the consensus, it was the consensus of position.
It's in writing that that's the day you were going to use, and that's in the letters that's been transmitted along with all the copies that have been sent out to the councils of government, to
Okay.
the board of selectmen, and everybody else.
All right. So,
motion?
we're gonna make a motion for the 26th and the 28th, but, you haven't actually checked to see the facilities available, so we're not gonna worry about that right now.
Last time though, we only approved one and that was the only one we put in writing. And we left the other one as the date open in case we needed a second one, but we
Yeah, I
didn't
think
want
we
people to
approved the
think
first
it was
one.
both. We wanted them to think that.
One and one.
Right?
Right, and when it was sent, I gave them one hearing date, but I still have to reserve a facility for you for 2 days.
No, I understand that. I'm just,
Okay, fine.
So which month is it?
So I would move it to the
January
20th. I would move it to the
26th.
26th then.
Thank you.
So is there a motion to, move the, hearing date to the 26th?
so moved,
Second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
assuming a facility is available.
It will be now.
Make sure we let Malone and McBroom know.
Actually,
At the new date.
he knows already, but I'm sure he'll know. Okay, the only, thing in the minutes from the, 3rd, in the discussion with, he did not say that he was interested in putting residential there. We are the ones that brought that up.
Which page are you on?
Page 3, it says Mr. Masor then stated, and it's the third bullet. It says either commercial or residential, but he didn't actually suggest residential at all.
So what do you want that bullet to say?
I would just put in flexibility for commercial use. Or it could be helpful if there was some flexibility that could be either commercial or retail. I mean, he was not the one that was trying to do residential. He was surprised that anybody brought it up, so.
So you want to just say flexibility for commercial or
Could be
retail?
office, retail, I mean,
Or retail. Okay.
all right. Anything else? Motion approved? Keep me wrong.
I wasn't here.
I'll make the
You
motion.
can still approve it. You can make a motion. Just can't vote on
Can't
it.
vote on it.
I made the motion, Jeff.
Second? Oh, you want a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Opposed? There you go.
Here.
Okay, so these are the meeting minutes from the 17th.
I'm amazed they were captured.
Well, actually, not everything was captured, but
The gist was.
I think the gist was probably captured, so. There you go. Is there a motion to approve the minutes, or is there any changes for the meeting of the 17th? Motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Let's see. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Abstain.
Right. So the only one that can, this time, also just the four of us can vote. Okay. Very good. All right, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
See, everybody's waking up now.